You are being manipulated. Every decision you make is influenced by tactics designed to shape your spending and investing. Recognizing these manipulations is key to taking control of your finances. So today we're exposing 3 of the most common tricks. It's no secret that the world of finance can sometimes feel a little bit complex, whether it's mortgages, insurance policies, or investment vehicles. The complexity can often be overwhelming. But have you ever wondered if it really needs to be that complex, or is this complexity a tool to manipulate your financial decisions? Let's break it down. Financial products are often layered with details and terms to confuse even the savviest of consumers. Take, for example, a standard mortgage agreement. It isn't just about the principal and the interest, there are also variable rates, fixed rates, amortization periods, penalties for early repayment, and various other clauses. Each of these elements can significantly affect your wallet, yet they are often presented in ways that are hard to understand. Life insurance policies are another prime example. These policies are packed with clauses and conditions overflowing with legal jargon, all to make it nearly impossible for you to compare or even understand what you are buying. And I'm talking specifically about permanent life insurance, which is one of the worst offenders in the financial product lineup. Not only it is one of the most complex types of insurance, but it's also a prime example of how the middle class is manipulated into buying a terrible financial product that benefits only the company behind it. They turn what should be a tool for financial security into a pitfall. And if you would like to know more, I have a video all about life insurance policies, and I will leave it linked below. Why does this matter? Because complexity leads to confusion, and confusion leads to poor decision making. When we face a complex decision, many of us tend to take shortcuts or delegate the decision to someone else, which might not always be in our best interest. This manipulation through complexity exploits a common cognitive bias known as choice overload. When we are presented with too many choices, especially complex ones, our ability to make clear decisions become impaired. It's like a smoke screen, making it hard to see what's actually good for us. Marketers and financial institutions know this and often design products that capitalize on this vulnerability. And they succeed because they try to convince us that we are not competent enough to do it on our own, we don't have enough discipline, or we are extremely inconsistent. So it's best if we just trust them with our money. So how can you cut through this complexity and make choices that can truly benefit your financial well-being? Educate yourself. The more you know, the less daunting these decisions become, and demand clarity. Always ask for simpler explanations. If a product or service can't be explained in a way that you understand, then maybe it's not the right choice. Moving on to the second trick used to influence how we perceive and choose products. Did you know that marketers use clever techniques to set up prices in a way that makes them seem more favorable than what they might actually be? We will explore 2 common tactics they use to achieve that. The first one is called anchor pricing, and here's what it looks like. Imagine you walk into a large electronics store looking for a new TV. The first thing you see when you enter the store is a high-end television positioned to catch your eye with a big price tag of $1,200. As you continue to browse, you find another section with a variety of TVs, including one that catches your attention for $900. It has many of the same features as the $1,200 model. It has 4K resolutions, smart technology, and a similar size. Naturally, you start comparing the two, and the second TV, priced at $900, appears more affordable. Here's what's happening. The store set up the $1,200 TV as an anchor. This high price sets a psychological benchmark in your mind. So when you see the second TV at $900, your brain automatically uses the first price as a reference point, making the second one feel like a bargain in comparison. This reaction is not about the actual value of the TVs, but about how the initial price shaped your perception. If the first TV you saw was priced at $900 instead, and you later saw another one for $700, the $900 option wouldn't be as appealing because the initial price you encounter has a powerful influence on how you judge every subsequent price. And that's how the anchor pricing manipulates your perception to make you feel like you're getting a better deal than you actually are. The other pricing tactic used is known as the decoy effect. Let's go back to our TV shopping scenario, but with a twist. Now, when you walk into the electronics store, you see three options. TV A costs $650. It's a basic model but offers a good value for its price. TV B costs $900. It has higher resolution and more advanced smart features. TV C also costs $900 and includes a 1-year subscription to HBO Max, but is otherwise identical to TV B in terms of quality, size, and resolution. Given the three options, which one would you choose? At first glance, your attention might primarily focus on comparing TV B and TV C. You may quickly conclude that TV C is the better deal, despite TV A being a budget-friendly option. So here's what's really happening. TV B is a decoy. It's not in the lineup because the store expects it to be a bestseller. Instead, its role is to make TV C look more attractive. Businesses use the decoy effect to lead customers towards choosing the product they want to sell. If we were to remove TV B from the equation, you might view TV C as overly expensive compared to the much cheaper TV A and decide it's not worth the extra money at the moment, even though it's a nicer TV. What can we do to avoid falling for such pricing strategies? First, it's important to understand the limitations of our own decision-making process. We naturally compare products to each other to determine their value, and marketers are well aware of this tendency and use it to their advantage by carefully designing pricing strategies that influence our perceptions. These strategies like anchor pricing and the decoy effect are tools used to steer us towards certain purchases. To counteract this, becoming aware of these tactics is key. When you recognize that a product is positioned to make another option look better by comparison, you can start to question whether the perceived value is real or just a result of clever pricing. Pause, reflect, and assess each product based on what you need and not just how it compares to the other options. The third major trap in personal finance is the seductive allure of credit. In a world where everyone wants the next big thing now, credit has become a go-to for many of us, especially if you are in the middle class. Want to own a home, drive a luxury car, or indulge in other high-ticket items? Credit is presented as the solution, a necessity for a successful life. But here's the catch. When you use credit to live a bigger life than your paycheck allows, you end up spending more than you're making. For instance, imagine you earn $5,000 a month and also have access to $15,000 line of credit. It's surprisingly easy to view this credit as supplemental income, feeling as though you have $20,000 to spend. This way of thinking means you blow through your paycheck and then start dipping into money you haven't made yet just to keep shopping. It's a shaky way to handle your money, and it's why so many people get sucked into a never-ending grind of more work, more debt, and more stress. And guess what? This behavior is normalized and even incentivized. The biggest myth lenders promote is this: If we give you credit, it's because we believe you can manage it. But let's be clear, they are in the business of making money. Every dollar you borrow and every purchase you finance is calculated to benefit them through interest, fees, and charges. They are banking on you using more credit than you can comfortably repay, pushing your financial limits for their profit. The prevailing belief is if you see something you want, you can have it right now, whether you got the cash or not. Have you noticed how it's become more convenient over time to reduce the friction of opening your wallet? We used to count every dollar, but now a simple tap of your iPhone against a credit card machine completes the transaction. This is tied to the pain of paying, which is a concept that explains that when you pay with cash, the loss is tangible. You physically see the money leaving your wallet, which might make you think twice about a purchase. However, with credit cards, this pain is minimized, which can easily lead to overspending. You see, everything is conspiring against you, so you gotta be smart. So how do we handle credit wisely? It's about being strategic. Use credit for leverage, not for lifestyle inflation. Use it for its benefits like rewards and cashback and integrate it into your overall budget. Set a rule for yourself that you will only spend what you can pay off in full at the end of each month. Understand the terms, know what you're signing up for, which are interest rates, fees, penalties, and don't let the fine print catch you by surprise. And build and maintain an emergency fund so you're not relying on credit cards for unexpected expenses. That's a wrap on the top 3 tricks used to manipulate the middle class. And remember, whether it's complex financial products, tricky pricing strategies, or the seductive pull of credit, knowledge is your best defense. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and catch you in the next one. Bye.